Today we will be learning how to solve sum and product puzzles, or sometimes I call them X puzzles. This is going to help you when we get to polynomials where we are factoring. So I wanted to let you guys practice solving the puzzles so that doesn't slow you down when we actually get to factoring. In a sum and product puzzle, you're going to find the pair of factors that when multiplied equals the top number, and when combined or added, I'm going to put added. Okay, so two numbers that when you multiply those two numbers, they equal the top number, and when you add those same two numbers, they equal the bottom number. So we're going to make a list of factors for the number on top, just like we did yesterday. You're going to find the pair that you could add together to get the bottom. And then you're going to, that will be the solution to the puzzle. So you're going to write the pair of factors inside the puzzle. So as a hint, if the top number is positive, then both your factors have the same sign. But if the top number is negative, then one of your factors is going to be negative. So you'll have to keep that in mind when we get down here where some of the top numbers are negative. Okay, let's look at this one. The top number is 8 and the bottom number is 9. So first thing I'm going to do is list all of the factors of 8. So this would be 1 and 8, and then 2 and 4, and 3 is not a factor. So you're going to look at which of these two numbers, two pairs, add to 9. And that would be this one, 1 and 8, because 1 plus 8 is 9. So the solution to the X puzzle is 1 and 8. Okay, number 2. 15 is my top number, so I'm going to list the factors of 15. 1 and 15. 2 is not a factor. 3 and 5. And 4 is not a factor. So which pair adds to 8? That would be this one, 3 and 5. Number 3, 14. So we have 1 times 14. 2 times 7. 3 is not a factor. 4 is not a factor. 5 is not a factor. And 6 is not a factor. So which of these two add up to 9? That would be 2 and 7. So those are pretty easy when both numbers are positive. Let's move on where one of them is not positive. So find the pair of factors to complete these puzzles where one of the factors is negative. So we still have to find all of the factors of the top number. So that would be 1 and 32, 2 and 16, 3 is not a factor, 4 and 8, 5, 6, and 7 are not factors. So what we have to keep in mind, though, is because this bottom number is negative, when we add numbers together, they have to be negative numbers. So we actually need to keep in mind that all of these numbers are going to be negative numbers when we add them together. So which two would add up to 12? Let's go ahead and add in a negative symbol for all of these. That would be negative 4 plus negative 8 is negative 12. So negative 4 and negative 8. So when you multiply a negative times a negative, it does give you this positive 32. When you add two negatives, your answer is negative. So we have negative 4 times negative 8 is positive 32. Negative 4 plus negative 8 is negative 12. Number 5. The factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 3 is not a factor, 4 and 5. Again, our top number is positive and our bottom number is negative. So that means all of my factors are going to be negative numbers. The two that add up to negative 9 are negative 4 and negative 5. Okay, now I have a top number that's negative. So that means that one of them in each pair will be positive and one in each pair will be negative. So I'm going to make 2 lists here for negative 15. So I have to list all of the pairs where one is negative, and I'm going to list it on the other side where the other one's negative. So for 1 and 15, I'll write negative 1 and positive 15. And then I'm going to write positive 1 and negative 15, because both of those options would add up to negative 15. And then I have 3 and 5, so negative 3, positive 5, or positive 3, negative 5. So now that's all of the pairs. Which one would add up to positive 2? That would be negative 3 and positive 5. So let's check. Negative 3 times positive 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 times positive 5, negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. Okay, number 7. Let's list all of the factors. Again, we have a negative number, so we have to keep in mind we have to write it 2 different ways. So positive 1 and negative 18, or negative 1 and positive 18. Positive 2 and negative 9, or negative 2, positive 9. Positive 3, negative 6, or negative 3, positive 6. And that is it. 4 and 5 are not factors. So which of these pairs add up to positive 7? That would be negative 2 and positive 9. Okay, negative 50. So 1 and 50, so I'll do 1 and negative 50 and negative 1 and positive 50. 2 and 25, so 2 and negative 25 and negative 2, positive 25. 3 is not a factor, 4 is not a factor. 5 and 10, so 5 and negative 10 and negative 5 and positive 10. 6, 7, 8, and 9 are not factors of 50. So which pair adds up to negative 5? That would be positive 5 and negative 10. Number 9. So we have negative 72, 1 and negative 72, negative 1 and 72, 2 and negative 36 and negative 2 and 36, 3 and negative 24, negative 3 and positive 24, 4 and 18, 5 is not a factor of 72. 6 and 12, so 6 and negative 12, negative 6, positive 12. 7 is not a factor, and then we have 8 and 9, so 8 and negative 9 and negative 8, positive 9. So out of all of these pairs, which one would add up to negative 1? That's a 1. I know it's kind of a flunky font, but that is a negative 1. And it would be this one, negative 9 and positive 8. So this is all we'll be doing today, but this is a skill you'll be using when we get to factoring polynomials. So very important to have this skill.